Another key area, again, is how your users interacting with the environment when it moves to the cloud. Most people are obviously going to be using a corporate laptop in most regards, or a corporate desktop, but there's also then the mobile phones and tablets, etc., that people use. So a lot of organizations now don't always provide a corporate device for that, and people are going to be using their personal devices. So how do you control the data that's on that and what they access and when? Things like Intune control don't need to have a device fully enrolled in the traditional sense. So, for example, I only have a personal phone. It's an iPhone. It isn't enrolled in the Cloud Direct Intune deployment. But if I access any data in Outlook, Word, Excel with my Cloud Direct identity via our 365 subscriptions, I'm not able to copy and paste that out of those applications into any other apps on my iPhone. I can't even copy and paste it within the same app into a different session with a different credential and say my own personal tenant, because the policies are there to protect and stop that behavior from happening. If I then left Cloud Direct, they wanted to get rid of me, they could block my access and remove the data off the phone from those applications as well. And that's all built in via the identity. It's all done by the policies. And it's the same things applies to Android. It is quite different with Android. You do have to install an application, but it creates a work profile which then has that encrypted area. Windows 10, the key component of the M365 licenses, you do get a step-up license to Windows 10 across all of them. In E3 and E5, you get Enterprise E3 and Enterprise E5. You need to have a base Windows 10 Pro license to then utilize those licenses. The M365 Business Premium license can be used to upgrade from Windows 7 and 8 Pro to Windows 10 as well. It's not a full-blown enterprise license. It's sort of a halfway house between Pro and Enterprise. But that will then give you the ability to manage it purely from the cloud, as long as it's Pro or above. But again, a key aspect of your migration is how old are the devices. If you're running devices that were purchased with Windows 7, chances are it's probably worth upgrading those devices, replace them with new hardware rather than upgrading and rebuilding them, because they may not provide the right level of performance or have sufficient hardware to run Windows 10 and the other modern day applications. And then the other key thing around Windows 10 is how you're going to provision it. So the traditional method is normally around a gold image. With the applications integrated into it, you just roll that out and apply that to relevant machines. There's obviously challenges with that around drivers for different models and all those other bits and pieces. Something like Autopilot, it becomes a much more flexible solution. Effectively, you're not rebuilding the machine, you're applying configuration to it out of the box. So you can have a device that comes out of the box. Once it's enrolled for Autopilot, the user will sign in with a 365 credential. Once it's on the internet, plugged in via or wireless, it will connect, it will communicate with Azure AD and Intune, auto-enroll itself and pull down the relevant policies. The user is then able to reset that machine themselves without having to send that back in to IT to provision for them. The key thing is all these devices can be managed remotely from the cloud. So whether you're in the office, at home, on the move, you can still control what's going on. And that gives a much more flexible solution, especially in this day and age.